What is going on, everybody? So here's where we're at right now. We got a hell of a story to cover today because we've been following along as this story continues to just progress itself. And the story I'm talking about specifically is Andrew Tate, as more evidence seems to be coming out all the way from the Greta Thunberg situation to the Jerry's Pizza issue, to him having his car impounded, to him filing the appeal, to them rejecting the appeal. I believe they kept him detained for 30 days is what they have him. And then these voice recordings that are all coming out, and these accusers that are all coming out, only unpacking this situation as it continues to unfold. Well, it seems that there's no shortage of evidence that's building up. This is exactly what it is I want to play for you. So if you haven't been familiar with the situation, let me see how much I can really bring you up to speed. So on December 29th, he was arrested not just for an exchange that he had with the climate activist Greta Thunberg, because he had a box of pizza that was in sight, and at the time he was located in Romania, and he had a box of pizza that was a Romanian brand. They recognized it, they came and got him. That is basically where the gist of everything all started. He had a checkup in the hospital, apparently. Then he was released, and then he was placed back in custody. As I stated earlier, he then filed an appeal to see if he can get out early, but of course that appeal was rejected, and he's being made to serve the full 30-day detention while they go ahead with their investigation. Since that time though, Tate has had some women that he might have employed at some point in time come out and make some accusations. Now, one thing that you have to remember about Andrew Tate: he has a lot of followers. I mean, a lot of followers. And although all of these people defend him, it's becoming ever more difficult, much like the situation with Tory Lanez, to defend these kind of actions, especially when they come from the horse's mouth itself. And if you don't know what it is I'm talking about, we're gonna listen to this audio clip, and you tell me what it is that you think when we come back, and we'll react to this right after. Here we go.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather you didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to? That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't pass out. Chill the out. Jesus Christ. I thought you were cool.
This is one of those situations where if you were ever Andrew's lawyer, you would actually have to tell him, dude, stop talking. Just stop talking. I think in all actuality, he's making the case harder for himself, because you almost have to wonder if he's just this dumb. You honestly have to think to yourself, there is no one that could actually be this dumb to make yourself seem so guilty in the eyes of the law that easily by just confessing everything. How much more of a silver platter can you hand yourself to the prosecution? I can guarantee you, they're basically just sitting back and letting him just hang himself, because he's just putting out the entire case against himself to them. If he's not admitting that he used to sell drugs, then he's admitting that he used to launder money. If he's not admitting that he used to launder money, then he's admitting that he used to commit vile sexual acts against women. You know, those exact same individuals that are accusing him? Yeah, those women. There's two main things that we're going to address in this, totally. One, you heard within his comments, where he's stating the more you didn't like it is the more I loved it. Now, to some degree, I get that. It's a kink thing, right? To those of you that have never actually experienced that, it's a kink. Now, there's a term for it. It's called consensual non-consent. This is not one of those experiences. What he's describing is he's just taking it by force. She doesn't want to, and he's blatantly acknowledging the fact that he knows that she doesn't want it. He's just doing it anyway. And they have a term for that, and you know exactly what that word is. You could even hear in some of the things that he's saying where he's telling her straight up it turned him on, knowing that she hated it. And then to top it off now, he lets her know straight up, I can do whatever it is I want to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is a power thing. He's declaring himself to be the smartest person on the planet. And if he wasn't acknowledging how she was feeling, then you could maybe track it up to, well, it's a consensual thing between the two of them. But he's directly acknowledging the fact that he knows that she's offended by what he's saying and what he's doing. He knows that she's offended by what he did to her, and she wants an explanation. Even to the point where he says, what's wrong with you? I thought you were cool. Now that's one thing. The other thing that I want to address in this are the Andrew Tate fans. Understand something. Let me see if I could actually just explain this in a way that you would understand. Andrew Tate is a character. He is a character. He's not just a character in the sense that he's a personality. He is a character. This that you see right now is a character that he plays. Why? Because people like Andrew Tate and anybody that's really real about the game knows about this. So I'm sure there's guys that when you see an individual like Andrew Tate, you're able to pick up on what this brother's about immediately. There are others that can't, and there are others that can. And the ones that can't are the ones that he preys on because they know that he goes under the mantra of they want to be me. People like Andrew Tate need one thing: a victim. This is how they make their living. This is how they build their lifestyle. Because there is always a victim. He preys on the fact that there's nothing that you could do about it. Think about it for a second, all right? If you really don't believe what it is that I'm saying, let me illustrate a few points on things Andrew has said himself. Andrew was a kickboxer. When he finished kickboxing, he didn't have very much income to his name, and he acknowledged that. So there were things that he had to do, such as dealing drugs, so that he could build some level of high income and that he could be sustained. Again, there is a victim in this. He has the power, and then he has to take advantage of someone's addiction in order for him to thrive. He did so well at it and created so many victims that he was able to, as he states, buy himself an Aston Martin. Next, Andrew, and let me not exclude his brother from this as well, because his brother is very complicit in all of this. They are on record as stating that desperate losers will give away money with or without OnlyFans, because they know there are lonely men out there that want companionship, and if they can get companionship from a very attractive lady, then they're going to be willing to pay for that. But hear how they talk about those guys. Desperate losers? It didn't mention with money. It just says that they will be willing to give away their money. That's called taking advantage of someone, creating another victim. They create another set of victims because they prey on your need, and the need that they recognize is companionship, some level of acceptance. I remember distinctly listening to Andrew when he was describing a situation on how he gives the rundown on how girls are supposed to fleece some of these guys, in the sense that you get the guy to start paying and paying and paying, and then you create some level of conflict with the guy. When the girl finally agrees to come and meet him, he's already been sending her money, and then she creates a reason not to go. Whether it be her head hurts or she has a trip to the doctor. Because the guy's already given his money and then she cancels on him, he gets so irritated that he stops and cuts her off right then and there. And Andrew was telling about this whole process that he would do over and over and over again. Eventually now, the guy would come back and he'd become another loyal customer, just giving away money. And all the while, the girl has never lived up to her end to actually go meet the individual. Guess what? They got a term for this. It's called a scam artist. And a scam artist always recognizes one thing: a need or a desperate want that needs to be filled. And then of course the next thing, the girls that supposedly can leave whenever they want to. If I'm not mistaken, was Andrew not making commitments to some of these girls, saying that he's gonna marry them, making sure that they know that he's theirs, making sure that he knows that when they come to Romania, they're gonna be together forever, and can she be loyal and can she be that? And then when she arrives there, it's nothing like what it is that she thought. She's made to work as a cam girl for him, all the while expecting that he's going to walk through the door at some point, without recognizing that she's not the only one in that situation. And then you want to tell me that she has the ability to then leave? Stop fooling yourself. But again, another victim. This is why he's under investigation for human trafficking, and others of those allegations that are all flying his way. As I stated earlier, Andrew Tate is playing a character. The sooner you recognize that, the better. And normally, where these guys get some act right, they may do this in front of you, they may talk like this online, they may talk like this in front of everybody else. Where these guys get some act right is when they're in front of a judge. When someone has the ability to sentence you, all of a sudden, your tune starts to change. If he's really convinced that he's going to get out, then of course you got to keep up the character, right? But the closer and the sooner it starts to sink in that he might actually do some serious time, I can almost promise you that unless he really is too dumb, he's going to revert back and become apologetic as ever, like a little kitten. Now I know there's going to be some pushback on this because Andrew Tate, like I stated earlier, has a bunch of fans, and he has a bunch of loyal fans, fans that have signed up for his university, which if you really did that, Hustlers University, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that you fell victim to this, because at some point the reality is going to hit. Andrew Tate reminds me of somebody. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this, but there was a character by the name of Duckman. If you don't know who Duckman is, please go look him up, because Andrew Tate, I can promise you, is Duckman with muscles. Well, that's all I got for now, guys. Let me know what it is you guys think. If you have heard this recording, what's your opinion on it? Do you think he's going to get off, or do you think he's actually going to do some time? And do you suppose that there's probably going to be more evidence piling up against him? I mean, one of the things that you cannot deny is that is his voice saying those words in that manner, basically confessing on a silver platter all of the things that he's done and all of the wrong things that he's done and then said, and the conditions that he's put these people through. So let me know what y'all think, and I will see you again for the next one, y'all. Be easy.